Hello, everybody. This is Joel, and I'm going to do a video about writing a recount. This is activity 3 in your workbook, but for those of you who aren't in my classes who might be watching this, you might find this video useful if you are writing a recount for school or for your other study. Recounts are usually used for ACSF Level 2 tasks. And so often we collect that for evidence with our students. So what is a recount? A recount is a retelling of events. So if you've ever had a conversation with a friend in which you've told them all about what you did the day before or something that happened in the past, and you explained it in a chronological order, like step by step what happened, that was a recount. There are 5 kinds of recounts. There's the personal recount, which most people will be familiar with. For example, writing in a diary of what you did that day. Then there's a factual or newspaper recount, which is basically when a newspaper describes the events of the past, or sometimes it could also be like a accident report or something like that. An imaginative recount is when somebody gets the historical information about a particular time period and then writes like a day in the life of that person or something like that, where they are collecting its information and then sort of writing a sort of general um, recount of what some of an event, what it might have been like, but may not have actually happened. A procedural recount is when you are describing a science experiment or some cooking or something like that, but where it's different from instructions is that you are describing something that was done and how it was done, not how to do something. So basically, you'll be using past tense, not present tense. So it's a little bit different. It's not quite the same. So, for example, while they were doing that, they may make mistakes. And so you'll still be recounting. So you'll still be explaining what happened that went wrong, right? But so that's how it's a little bit. A literary recount is when it's sort of like a factual recount, but it's using characters. So you'll be putting in a fictional character in there or something like that to uh, explain something that really didn't happen but may have happened, sort of thing. So recount texts have certain features. Remembering that you're giving details about an event that happened. That means that you're going to write in chronological order. You'll probably write in first person if you're writing a personal recount, right? You may use a different point of view if you're writing a different kind of recount. And it will be in past tense and you will use time connect. So some features include dialogue. So you can add dialogue into a recount. That's certainly part of it. You'll use descriptive language to try to make your story interesting. You'll describe the events in the order that they happened. And it's like you're recalling an event, whether it's personal, factual, or imaginary. So when you're uh, writing your introduction, you're going to think about what happened, who it happened to, when did it happen, where did it happen. You're going to focus on the specific events that happened. But okay, so you're going to probably only describe the important ones. You'll leave out the extra unimportant details. You will organize your writing in paragraphs, and you can include personal comments, opinions, or interpretations. So you can have that's why it's not part of it's not academic in that it's personal, but it can be professional, like for example, newspaper. The tense, you're going to use first and third person, right? Is most commonly used with present tense for analysis and opinion. You're going to use a lot of proper nouns referring to specific people, place, times, and events. You can use active and passive voice, and you'll use conjunctions and connectives to link events and indicate time sequence. Other useful language might include adverbs of place, time, and manner, such as these here. So how did it happen? It happened easily. How often? It always happened. When? It happened yesterday. And where? It happened outside. So these are some examples. You will consider the point of view. So in the recount that you're going to write for your teacher, for those people doing the workbook, you're probably going to use the first person pronoun, all right? But other recounts might have other points of view. So the first thing to do is to create a timeline of events. In the case of this item, you're going to be thinking about what you did yesterday. So you might start with a plan like this. So who, what, where, when, and why. So this is a basic plan. And that will go into your introduction. That's where you set the scene. And then you go through your sequential events and then so the activity 3 in your book looks like this. This is the planning stage, and you're just going to think about what you did yesterday and write a little entry into here, okay, about what you did. So here's an example. So wake up and made breakfast, that sort of thing. So this is all part of your planning procedure. All right, so then you might then start putting this information into a plan. Your plan might look like something like this. If you're doing an ACSF task, we will need a plan. So every ACSF task has to have a plan, a draft, and a final copy. So you will do your plan, you'll give your teacher your draft, they will mark it and give you feedback, and then using that feedback, you'll correct your writing, and that will be your final copy. So here's an example of a recount. Okay, so you can see that it's got time, it's got probably didn't use a lot of adjectives, to be honest with you, but it's got everything else in it. And you can read it if you want. If you want to do more, here's an extension activity. You can try this quiz. It's quite good. It's got questions about recounts and test your knowledge. If you find that you still need more work on this, try checking out this video. Here are my references. Check them all out. There's some good information there. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and that you will get your accounts ready to submit to me. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.